You tapping in real quick. Something like nothing major, man. You know what I'm talking about? Let's talk about some confident picks for UFC Fight Night Yan versus Figueiredo, man. Now, me personally, when it comes down to finding my most confident picks, for my main plays and my main parlays, for the most part, what I like to do, the way I like to operate, y'all already know. Stay away from the first fight of the night. Stay away from the last fight of the night. Stay away from heavyweight MMA. Stay away from women's MMA. Stay away from individuals making their UFC debuts. Stay away from individuals, minus 500 or above, or just ridiculously priced for absolutely no good reason. You understand what I'm saying to you? And stay away from individuals that you have question marks on, one side or both sides. You understand what I'm saying to you? Last night, UFC 309, that left us with Oban, Ramis, Jim, Marcus, and Charles, as those were the 5 individuals that came in under the minus 500 money line, weren't involved in the first or the last fight of the night, not heavyweight MMA, not women's MMA. Nobody was making their individual, UFC debuts. No ridiculous shit was involved with those. Trim the unnecessary stress away and was able to find a solid base. I tend to find a solid base when I trim the unnecessary stress away. Now with this card, that's fucking hard. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because most of this fucking card is filled with individuals making their UFC debuts, regardless of how they may have done on whatever shows they may have been on or whatever the case may be, with these finales or whatever's happening. You know what I'm talking about? It's a lot of prospects versus prospects and just a lot of question marks for me. Let's just put it like that. It's a lot of question marks, man. You know what I'm talking about? So the lineup I have right now has Mahashete versus Mata as the first fight of the night. So if I'm staying away from that, and I'm staying away from all these question marks like Long versus Lee and Kavanaugh versus Jose, Zhu versus XIE, and Yu versus Sulai, Old Boy versus Choi and Fang. That's women's MMA versus Shai, She, or Shay, however you say her name. Probably all 3 of them was wrong. Old Boy versus Hernandez, you know what I'm talking about? We have Ozdemir versus Oldberg. You know what I mean? And for what it's worth, I'm confident that Oldberg can get the job done. This version of Oldberg, this isn't Kennedy and Chuck Wu, version of Oldberg, where he blows the load in the first fucking 4 to 5 minutes and just can't get the fucking job done. He's a bit sharper now. I said it in my full card breakdown and predictions. Back then his IQ, he was about as sharp as a fucking marble. You know what I'm talking about? But now, he's sharpened that up. He's relatively smart in there, you know what I mean? He operates by the game plan and he gets it done, you know what I'm saying? So I'm banking on him to stay safe against Ozdemir, who does, present threats to absolutely anybody he's on the other side of the octagon with. But as long as Oldberg can keep this fight upright, which he should be able to do, then he should also be able to produce the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes on the feet. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I like Oldberg. You know what I'm talking about? Wang versus Fernandez, that's females. Diaz versus Zhang, question marks, prospect versus prospect. Yan versus Richie, that's females. And then Figueiredo versus Yan, that's the main event. So Song versus Salikov, I like Song. Song is solid. You know what I mean? Song's well-rounded. Salikov is not the, young up-and-coming individual that got the best of Song when he was a slight dog in his last matchup. I think that's how that went down. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's not Salikov, man. Salikov is a welterweight version of a Dennis Seaver. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? He has a couple to a slight few tricks in his bag, man. That spinning, that spinning heel kick, that spinning sabat. This Dennis Seaver-esque, very much Dennis Seaver-esque, from the body frame to the way he fights to the minimal tricks he has in his arsenal. You understand what I'm saying to you? While he has proven to be able to be dangerous up against certain levels of opposition and be able to get the job done, I do not think that's going to be the case for Song. So one of my most confident picks on the card, couple of my most confident picks on the card are dogs, but this one, I got to stay away from the main event. I gotta stay away from the first fight of the night. And right now, Mahashete versus Mata in this lineup is the first fight of the night. So, you know, staying away from that. You know what I'm talking about? It's gotta be Song and Los. You know what I mean? Song and Los. Carlos Oberg and the boy Song, man. And those two come together at a solid plus 210. So I'm all right with that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm all right with that. We got one, you know, slightly, you know, pretty significant favorite, minus 265. Moderate favorite, whatever they call it. I don't know how they call it. He's a fucking favorite. You know what I mean? He's a sizable favorite at minus 265. And Song's a slight dog at plus 125. At that 125, plus 125, and at minus 265, they come together at plus 210. And I'm solid with that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm solid with that, man. You know what I mean? Because I like Los to get it done. And I like Song to get it done. Both of them via unanimous decision, 2 rounds to 1. And if the finish presents itself for either one of them inside the distance, you know, we'll take that too. It would be via KO, TKO by catching, clipping, and disconnecting Ozdemir from his consciousness for Oberg. And it'll most likely be via submission from a club and sub type situation, or via Song just getting this match down to the mat, you know, sinking in, locking up that motherfucking submission and getting him out of there inside the distance via submission. But I like Song, man. I think the only way Salikov beats Song is via catching, clipping, and disconnecting Song from his consciousness inside the distance. And I don't think Salikov is capable of doing that at this stage in his career, with all due respect, man. So staying away from the main event and staying away from the first fight of the night, man. My two most confident picks in that mix. You know what I'm talking about? Staying away from the females, staying away from the question marks, staying away from all this unnecessary shit. Give me Carlos Oberg and give me the boy Song, man. One slight dog and one moderate favorite, if that's how you call it. He's a sizable favorite, in my personal opinion, at minus 265. But that minus 265 and that plus 125 come together at plus 210. You know what I'm talking about now? My 4 most confident picks on the card, with all due respect to their opposition. You understand what I'm saying to you? Is Carlos Oberg, the boy Song, the boy Mahashete, if that's how you say his name, against Mata, and, you know, Davison Figueiredo. Staying away from, no way I'm locking any of these females or any of these other individuals that just have not been up against the level of opposition for us to be arguing their statistics in my main, you know, confident plays, man. I got plenty of plays with plenty of them in it, but who am I most confident in? I gotta be honest, I have to go with the individuals that I know, that I've seen up against, you know what I mean, you know, decent levels of opposition here in the UFC, you know what I mean? I know the bodies of work produced by both sides. I know all that I need to know about both sides. Both sides have proven the level of opposition that they've proven to be. They've proven to either be dangerous or not so much so against the level of opposition they've proven to either be dangerous or not so much so against. You understand what I'm saying to you? I know what I'm getting when Mahashete and Mata step in there. I know what I'm getting when Ozdemir and Oberg step in there. I know what I'm getting when Yan and Richie step in there. And I know what I'm getting when Yan and Figueiredo step in there, as far as bodies of work produced and levels of opposition. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I know what I'm getting. They've proven to be who they are. You know what I'm talking about? And it just is what it is. We know what we're working with there. At least I do anyway. I don't know what I'm working with some of these other individuals, man. You know what I mean? Mahashete and Los, they come at plus 104. Mahashete, Los, and Song, 2 sizable favorites. And one, you know, slight dog come together at plus 360 for 3 legs. And I like that, you know what I mean? I like Song and Los at plus 210. I like Mahashete and Los at plus 104. Mahashete, Los, and Song at plus 360. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you know I got to give them a dabble. So, you know, Los, Song, Mahashete, and Figueiredo, that's plus 1302. And if I toss in Tabby, it's plus 3684. You know what I'm talking about? But it is what it is, man. If, you know, you want to talk about some of these other individuals, some of these favorites, you like these favorites, and you want to put some of these favorites together, you might want to do it now before you're not getting a plus money number or anywhere near a plus money number by doing so. You know what I'm talking about? Because like Wang and Fang, if that's how you say Feng's name, they come together at minus 186. Now, if you take Wang, Fang, and toss in Oberg and Mahashete, you know what I mean, for one significant favorite and 3 sizable favorites. Those 4 legs come together at plus 216 as of right now. You know what I'm talking about? You can toss in Choi, you know what I mean? And they'll come together at plus 428, and then toss in you, and they'll come together at plus 797. You know what I'm talking about? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs at plus 797. And if you like Zhang, they come together at plus 1066. Toss in Song as a dog at plus 2524. And Figueiredo for plus 7902. Now, just keeping it light, you and Choi, they come together at plus 184. You know what I mean? Fang, Zhang, and Wang, the 3 very big favorites, come together at plus 101. If you toss Choi and you in with Fang, Wang, and Zhang, those 5 come together at almost 5 times your money at plus 471. Then you could toss in Mahashete as your 6th leg, and they'll come together at plus 745. And that's 3 significant favorites with Wang, Fang, and Zhang. Wang, Fang, and Zhang. And then Choi, you. Choi, Wang, Fang, and Zhang. Choi and you. And then Mahashete as your 6 legs. For 6 legs at plus 745. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, something light, nothing major. A couple things to think about, you know what I mean? If anybody want to get some early bird action in on some of them heavy favorites, or if you like any of those legs that I like, my most confident picks on this card, you know, just happen to consist of 2 favorites and 2 dogs once again. You know what I mean? That's how it was last night. That's how it is going into this card, man. And those 2 favorites are Carlos Ulberg and the boy Mahashete. And those 2 dogs are Davis and Figueiredo and Song. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I am highly confident that all 4 of those individuals, both of those favorites and both of those underdogs, get the job done. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it is what it is. Appreciate you for tapping in. Peace and blessings.